I'm home now. No more stress. Well, no more stress for the moment. But I'm starting a YouTube channel. Which this should be my first video on YouTube. And what I want to do is, well, do something to raise awareness about how we need more facilities for mental health for people with brain injuries, like myself and many of my other brain aneurysm friends. And I want people to be aware of how difficult it is to speak and walk and multitask and think. And you'll notice that it takes me a little bit to figure out what I'm going to say, which is fine. But it took a long time for me to accept a lot of the changes, and it still is. And I kind of want to walk through it with you, everybody that I love and that's been there for me, and those that need to know what can happen when you don't take blood pressure medicine and you have a high stress life and you're trying to work yourself to death to improve your life for your family, and you make the wrong choices sometimes. But life is all about learning lessons and surviving. And I survived, and I wasn't supposed to. I had a 12% chance, and I was on life support. I had an open skull craniotomy, and then for the bleed or the subarachnoid hemorrhage, they did another operation. And I contracted meningitis, and they put a tube in the back of my head. All of this was while I was on the machines. And then when I was released from the hospital after I finally woke up, and I didn't want to, but there were two fabulous nurses that made me breathe. But I think it was just not wanting to feel the pain and wake up and realize what was going on. But I really don't know. The last 2 years have been kind of foggy for me. But I'm doing better, slowly. But, going places, doing things is very hectic. And I have to do, deep breathing. I do a lot of meditation, hypnosis. I try anything that might work. I have no limitation. Well, I have limitations, but I've tried exercise, which I do every day. I try to at least walk a mile a day. I'm trying to run now, but I got to get my breathing right, and multitasking is part of breathing and running at the same time. And I'm very clumsy since the aneurysm, and I have falls that just happen for whatever reason. They don't really know why. But the biggest issue is the mental health, and the way that when your brain is injured that badly, how you change completely the way you react to things, the way you handle things, and you try to find help. And there are no neuropsychs in West Virginia. There's rarely any neuropsychs anywhere. If I wanted to go to one, I would have to travel over an hour, 2 hours to get to one, which this is going to be my new therapy for now. And if I need to check out, I probably will check out the neuropsychs, just because of all the medications that you don't want to be on, including antipsychotic medication, because of the really bad side effects. As far as, we already have insomnia when you have a brain injury. Most of us have insomnia. We don't sleep. And when you do sleep, you don't rest. You have nightmares, or some people don't even get a wink of sleep, So it's pretty difficult. But This is not about a pity party. This is not for attention. This is for raising awareness. This is my therapy to talk to you about what you don't want to do, what you don't want to happen, and what things we need to change, and how we look at people with brain injuries, TBIs, even people that have had concussions, or people that haven't had ruptures, that had a brain injury, brain aneurysm, and it didn't rupture, and they had surgery, because that's still damage, any kind of damage to the brain. Mine was mostly emotional, in memory, coordination, a few things like that, but some things are coming along. But it can be different for everybody or anybody. But, things are not going to be perfect. I'm not going to talk perfect. I don't want to talk perfect. I want to be me. I want you to see the real deal and how things really are. I may struggle some days, and some days I won't. Moods go up and down. It's a common thing. But we're hoping with the neuropsych, or with maybe a new psychiatrist that I find here, that they can maybe do the scans. I forget what they're called. I'll find out. And there are these new scans that they can scan your brain, and they can see which areas need or are reacting and which are not. And they can prescribe medicine for that, and the correct medicine. And that's what I really want to happen. But right now, I have to find out how to get that done and how all that works. And one day at a time. I'm trying to do too many things at the same time, but it keeps me busy. And I'm one of those type A personalities that I went back to school in my 30s and got my degree, and I wanted to really do something for my family. I really wanted to be something in business and run a business, and I was on my way, doing really well when my first weekend off this happened, outside here, and I will show you eventually what happened. And I had some really bad seizures, and nonstop. But my husband was very skilled in what to do for me, and he saved my life, along with my dog, which is a border collie, and she's extremely intelligent, and I'm sure she'll be on here too. But if you choose to watch, you will learn a lot, on not just from just watching me, but you'll learn a lot about brain injuries, and how we struggle, and what you just want to take care of yourself. You really do. You need to lower your stress level. Keep an eye on your blood pressure. Make sure that you're, if you can, do a little bit of exercise. Even if you walk down the hallway and back, or you walk out the door, walk outside and walk back in, or go across the street to the neighbor's house and come back, or walk down and get the mail and come back up. For me, it was baby steps. Like, it took me 2 years to be able to talk to you, to be able to talk to anybody, really. I still have trouble driving, but I enjoy a little bit of that, where I'm disabled. I like the, what is it called? Oh, independence. I like having that independence back, a little bit of it anyway. And it makes you feel more adult, because when something like this happens, you feel like a child, and kind of degrading in a way. Not that I don't respect my survival and appreciate my survival. It has nothing to do with that. And that's one of the worst things you can say to someone that has survived this is, you should be thankful, because we're so thankful. But there are so many things. It's so difficult to get through to this point to where I'm at right now. For me, it was. And I know it was for a lot of my brain aneurysm friends. Sometimes it takes more than 3 years. Sometimes it can take 8 years, or, 10 years or more. But I wish I would have been able to video and show you what I went through when it first happened, but I was too embarrassed, and it was really bad. I stayed in bed pretty much for 2 years, and had trouble walking, and which I went to a inpatient rehab. They don't treat mental health there, but they taught me how to walk and talk and eat and drink and open the refrigerator and get things down. They taught me everything all over again. That was a great place to go to learn all the skills that you already know, but you got to relearn everything. Everything has to be relearned. And taking your medication properly, that's very important. Because if you don't, then you won't see the improvements, and you'll have a lot of pain when it first starts. Now I don't take anything for pain except for ibuprofen, and there are days when I have to stay in bed because of the headaches. But Botox is really a lifesaver for me anyway. It's really changed my life. I get it once every 3 months, I think it is, so I get it again in September. And if they will let me, I will video it so you can see how cool it is. I have the needles stuck in your head. So, there's my family coming in. So let's cut this off. And I love you. And goodbye.